Hi, Scorpio Collective. Welcome back to New World Angel. Today we are going to do your first half of 2026 reading. So let's get into it. First and foremost, we're going to pull 3 cards for each of the months. We're starting off with April, denoting Aries, because we're starting with the zodiacal 2026. Then we'll get into May with Taurus. June for Gemini, July, Cancer, August, Leo, and we will leave it at Virgo with September. This is not going to be an extended reading, but so yeah, we'll pull 3 cards here for each of the months. I'm asking my spirit guides to do one continuous storyline. So I kind of want to see this storyline through the first half of 2026 for you guys. It's going to be whatever is most prevalent in my Scorpio collective that they need to hear. So the most helpful storyline the collective needs to hear for Scorpio. If this doesn't resonate with you, because some of them have been very, very specific, such as the Pisces reading, then I'm encouraging everyone, actually regardless of whether this resonates or not, to check out what your moon and rising signs are. If you don't know what that is, go to newworldangel.com under the education tab. There is a helpful link to a birth chart calculator. You just need to know where you were born and time, exact time of birth, especially for your rising sign, to get your moon and rising sign. So if this does or doesn't resonate with you, go ahead and check those readings out as well, because you could get one very clear general collective reading for yourself for the first half of 2026. Okay. Also, just a quick note, and I'll say this on every video, but I am starting a new segment called Learn Tarot with Me. They're just like 6 to 10 minute videos of each of the tarot cards. I'm working my way through them, but I've started to incorporate that on newworldangel.com as well as my YouTube reading. I've created a playlist under that channel. So check that out if you are interested in just learning more about the tarot cards. I would love, we always need more spiritual leaders and good tarot readers at that. So that was just my little update for you guys. And then I am going to pull a Philosopher's Deck card for y'all to get us started. I want this to be a message that resonates with you guys so that it can kind of quickly bring you back to the reading today and kind of jog your memory in terms of like helpful messages. I've been telling everyone, this can resonate with you in one sort of way today and then a completely different way 6 months from now. So if you find that this is totally like your storyline, like jot it down somewhere and come back like in September or in a few months and see if you don't resonate with these messages in a different way. It's just another way of sort of, garnering your your own intuitive guide, which is what we're trying to do here. I want to elevate everyone's own internal compass. So that's a good way to do it, is to understand how readings resonate with you, how tarot resonates with you, and how you internalize the messages. Because you can see a lot of growth after a certain amount of time of incorporating maybe the suggestions here, or even fine-tuning how you're going about something. Okay? All right, so let's get into it. Let's pull a Philosopher's Deck card for you. Spirit, give us a really good message for our Scorpio collective. Are y'all starting to... So we are in the blood moon territory right now. Like the full moon in Virgo is happening tomorrow. So energies can be heightened right now. Although this isn't a full moon reading, but it could vary because the full moon and the Mercury retrograde in Pisces right now is so It's just so important this year in 2026 that it very well, like this message could very well bleed into the full moon reading that I do later. So just keep that in mind. Things can be bubbling up to the surface right now for you. Revisiting topics from the past for sure. Oh, and as another just good message here, because this is like a current and future reading, there is always going to be bits and pieces from your past that make their way into any reading. So even though I want this to be future, don't be surprised if like past energy shows up in some sort of way. All right, Spirit, what do we have for our Scorpio collective today? What's a good message for them? Scorpio, you guys are all about death, rebirth, other people's finances. There's a level of emotionality to you guys that maybe isn't so readily seen. Like you don't wear it, outwardly. It's more like an internal approach. Emotions run deep with you guys. What else? I'm getting like an image of something up your sleeve. Working on something? Got something up your sleeve? Let's see. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Some of my best friends have been Scorpios. You guys are fun. Fun to be around, that's for sure. Constantly reinventing yourself. No, I pulled this for another reading. It might be prevalent for you, but I'm not going to keep it. Pleasures, when they go beyond a certain limit, are but punishments. We're not going to keep that one, though. So there's another one, Spirit. Okay. What pursuits am I devoted to during this chapter of my life? What pursuits could I see myself being devoted to later on once this chapter feels complete? So what pursuits am I devoted to during this chapter of my life? And what pursuits could I see myself being devoted to later on once this chapter feels complete? Yeah, that's sort of the image I got of like something up your sleeve. Like maybe you're closing out a certain cycle and are looking forward to, another reinvention of yourself, something that you would like to take a deeper delve into at some point in the future, maybe when you have more time or energy to focus on that. So that's interesting. What are you devoted to at this point in your life? And then, forward looking, what pursuits do you see yourself being devoted to once this chapter feels complete? That's interesting. Feels complete versus is complete. So maybe that is up to you to determine. There's always extenuating circumstances of like, if you're working on a project and like you're putting the last finishing touches on it, that could be something. But I don't know. Something tells me that, like you're getting interested in the next pursuit. Cool. We love it. Okay, let's get started with the months. Where do we want to begin? We're just going to do plain old Rider-Waite. I did get a new tarot deck, but I'm not going to incorporate that one into the signed readings. I don't think, possibly in an extended, but we are reading for Scorpio today and the first half of 2026, Spirit. Let's give our collective like a really good, helpful message here. What's going to be most helpful to my Scorpios? What do they need to hear? What's going on? Perhaps taking a deeper look at these pursuits that you're entertaining or thinking you might want to entertain. Could be a good business opportunity. I don't know. We'll see. What do they have cooking in April? Keeping something close to your chest. Temperance. Temperance energy, it's Sagittarius energy, first of all. It is fiery in nature. And temperance as a whole is an overarching, like, it's a major arcana card. It's not like your day-to-day. This is like an overarching sort of period in your life that you've been working through. Navigating, like, perhaps even like, reconciling who you used to be with who you are becoming or who you want to become. But sort of balancing out the two worlds. I definitely get like a closing of a book, and just to turn around and open a new one, but in a completely different genre type. You could be a writer. I don't know if that's important to you. But healing energy, like elevation type. Crossing the boundaries is sort of what I get. With a Queen of Pentacles in your world. Possibly a mother figure. Queen of Pentacles is, you're trying to balance something out with some sort of mother figure come April. She is doting. She is a great nurturer, provider. She gives great advice, honors her endeavors. And what I thought was funny about this card, and it just continues to stick with me for whatever reason, but the Queen of Pentacles actually, she has a really good, like, her personality, because she's so practical and down to earth, sometimes you don't get to see like the levity within her. She is like, she has a dry sense of humor. Knows when to use it too. But I just always enjoy that about this figure. So yeah, maybe you're trying to like bring levity to a situation concerning like some sort of mother figure in your world. Just trying to balance things out. It's also, Queen of Pentacles is Taurus energy. It's fixed. It's fixed earth and water. Yeah, I kind of get like a lot of grounding, like trying to make headway with somebody. Let's continue on. Yeah, after seeing things differently, like having some time to like take a look and like shed some light on the situation. I don't know if this was someone in your world sort of asking you to do this, or if you just took the time, like maybe, whatever you were working on took up so much of your time and energy that come April, you're actually able to, I don't know, sort of re-review progress. that you've made with this person in your world. And like seeing them in a different way. This is great energy. Yeah, you're just getting a different perspective on this person in your world. I don't know who they are to you. It doesn't have to be your mother. It could just be somebody, it could, be somebody that you work with that has been on your mind. Maybe even connecting to like a guide of some sort who could be a mother. Whatever it is, it's a lot of healing energy. I love that come April. It's a lot of major arcana. So these aren't like small day to day, like you're not going to figure this out in April. I hate to say it. It's just like an overarching sort of maybe process in your life. Process. Okay. So then let's sort of take a look at, or, you could even be coming to terms with, maybe you're working through a relationship that you have. It could be with your mother. It could be with a sibling who is a mother, or, a very close confidant type of friend. Yeah, this is your own card, death and rebirth. You're seeing things differently. You guys are so, like, you could totally transform yourself. I don't want to say overnight, but seemingly overnight. That, like, people, it's like you pop out and people are like, well, who the fuck is that? Like, this is a brand new person, when you're just like, no, I've been doing my thing this entire time. That's just sort of what I get. And like, but you're applying that to a particular person in your world. You might even be the Queen of Pentacles too, but I don't get that. I get that Queen of Pentacles is somebody outside of you. Okay, so what can Scorpio expect regarding this storyline come May with this Queen of Pentacles? Yeah, she's a good provider. She's a mama bear. She protects her investment. She's the holder of the Ace of Pentacles. She was given the power and authority to hold on to that seed because it's hers. She cultivated it and she takes great pride in it. And I think you're beginning to see that, And you're like, okay, this wasn't like it wasn't just something that, she did flippantly. Like, the Queen of Pentacles takes her time with the cultivation and nurturing. All right, so we move on to May regarding this storyline in Scorpio. Give us a progression of this energy, Spirit. What can they expect regarding this come May? I can see why now it was kind of like there was a little bit of hesitancy. It took me a minute to get these cards out. So yeah, maybe it was you were just very hesitant or busy or just like didn't see the need to look at things differently, but whatever happened in the past has led you to, where you are come April. To where you are seeing things differently. You kind of have more wisdom under your belt. Perhaps even wisdom from speaking to this person. May. Okay, well this just needed to come out then. Yeah, the whole thing transforms. May, death, rebirth. These are like not small energies. Something is being brought to light. It's being reconciled. transforming, hopefully for the better, which there's been wisdom and healing here, so I don't see how it could go in a bad direction. Like, it's a forward movement rebirth. It's not like, seeing things from a different angle and it bringing you backwards. Like, no, this is growth in a positive direction. Yeah, regarding I kind of get, unfortunately, trauma, but yeah, transforming the work of the past. So, hold on. Let's continue with the Hierophant. This is not small energy at all. Maybe this was just burdening you for so long, kind of like following you around for a really long time until you realize, like, I don't need to be carrying these burdens, and neither does this person in your world. And that's why you approach them. It doesn't mean that you do approach them in April. You could have already had that, and this is just a continuation of that energy. But come May, there is a very clear transformation either afoot or it's being shown now it's like the internal change has happened, but now in May it's kind of like externally people begin to see that. And this is the end of you bearing the burdens of whatever the situation is, like the workload. And again, this could definitely be you closing out a certain project that has just been a long time coming, or it's been weighing on you for whatever reason. It's just been a lot of hard work, a lot of time. And you just sort of like felt burdened by it, like you were ready to close this chapter and are wanting to move forward. Yeah, because you have a greater perspective and you are protected in this sort of way. You could be working with a Cancer or some sort of spiritual leader, possibly. Like I said, like maybe you sought out a spiritual guide or just somebody like a mentor, a confidant, somebody that is held in a position, like a high level position that you look up to. And the energy is just like, the cycle is complete regarding this. I just get a sense that you and this person are both over it. Which is great. At least you guys are on the same page. Now, I don't know about this spiritual group or whomever like you're speaking to and what their intentions are, and we're not going to get into it, but this is good forward movement. Like, there's healing, there's recognition, there's wisdom, there's actual growth and change for the better, to where like you don't feel so bogged down. That's what pursuits could I see myself being devoted to later on once this chapter feels complete. So in terms of like transforming this feeling, maybe this is spirit telling you like, you don't necessarily have to do all the work here. It kind of seems like other players are involved and it's not just your responsibility. Like, certainly you play a role, but I would say your focus in May is to like gently sort of remind yourself that like, you don't have to be the martyr in this. Like, so long as you take the right steps and you're transforming for the better, and it's for the betterment of all around you, then, how others might see or perceive that is not your burden to bear. burden to bury. Maybe that's needed, like bury the hatchet type. It's not your burden to bear, though, collective, is what I'm saying. And maybe you begin to see that in May. You're like, okay, this isn't just about me. There's other people involved here. So yeah, I think there's like a little release here. There's a lot of work, so hopefully there's like some sort of, I don't know, playfulness. I'd love for the sun to come out or something, like, so that you can just sort of relax and chill into this and know that the chapter is closed. Like, you feel it. You know, you've done what you wanted to do. Okay. So then what can Scorpio expect regarding this storyline come June? Hopefully you will have dropped all those ones and you feel renewed. Or at least take some time to renew yourself. Yep, meditation. Relax. Sort of relaxing into the energy. There is a new beginning. That's what we're looking for. All right. Scorpio, June, regarding this storyline. Do you put the burdens down? Okay. Yeah, this has been a long time coming. You're still working on it. Seeing the fruits of your labor or expecting to. This is diligence, due diligence, like seeing things through, making sure that you incorporate possibly those changes. Making sure that the work that was done in the past and the conversation that was done in the past like sits well. And even for you, I think that is like a good reminder to you to say like, this isn't like an overnight change. It's going to take some time. But we like that energy. It's harvest energy. Maybe seeing the finished product, or at least knowing that the finished product is going to present itself. The Emperor. I get this as you, like ownership. Like standing in your power. This is Aries energy. It is also Mars energy. So perhaps like the amount of time that's taken to get to this point, that could be somewhat of an annoyance to you that it's not wrapped up come June. And so I would ward against like anger about this. Because if it's out of your control and it's just a matter of like timing, then there's a need to be able to sit in that energy without judgment of yourself or others. You know, like the Emperor wants things when he wants them. So maybe, yeah, maybe there's a level of like impatience here for you come June. There's somebody that you're working with, but I get that more so are you. Like patiently waiting for this to pay off. The Emperor doesn't dwell though, so like, you know, he doesn't just like sit and like watch paint dry. He's just on to the next thing. But is at least seeing growth. Oh, okay. And then we have a Two of Cups situation. I believe like come June, you really start to sort of embody like the next work project. And I don't know if it's this Queen of Pentacles or somebody else, but there's definitely like work collaborations And you're kind of at the middle of this. Like you are the initiator in a way. This doesn't have to be like a romantic relationship. It just means that, like, because of how much growth I see here on the table, it's like I get a helpfulness. Because of the position that you hold, there's a helpfulness thing here. So maybe you're kind of like transitioning come June. Whatever it is, like you're passionate about it, you believe in it. Yeah, maybe an idea you've had for a project, there gets like a clearance come June, and then you can begin like the collaborative process. And it's been a long time coming maybe to get this approval. Or it's just been a long time coming for you to come around to come back around to this project, like a revisiting of sorts almost. You never forgot about it, but it definitely becomes front and center like June. Okay, that's good energy. We like it. Forward movement. I definitely get in May you're closing out a chapter though. Like you're wrapping up a project and now it's all about like consideration of the next thing that you want to do. Okay, cool. Let's get into July for our Scorpios. What can Scorpio expect come July regarding this storyline, Spirit? I still don't see you resting. And I kind of want that to be in there. I don't know. Just because like this energy is so big and heavy, not heavy in a bad way. It's just kind of like, there's a word that I'm trying to use and I don't know what it is. It's just like an overarching, like it's just been, I don't know. It's been sort of like looming in your world for a minute. Like it's been a process, this transformation. What can our dear Scorpios expect come July, considering all the work that they've done and what they're working on next? Seven of Swords. Okay. Definitely change, need for discernment. Yeah, I get, there's like a weariness of, hold on, there's just like a level of fear there, like deception. Like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? Type. Queen of Swords. It's Aquarius energy. In July, I feel like there's a level of discernment with some sort of Queen of Swords energy. It doesn't have to be... Queen of Swords is just like she's quick-witted, she's got a sharp tongue, she's authoritative, can work in the justice system. Think of her as like a lawyer type, where she's supposed to stand for truth and justice. Maybe having to rework through like a contract with somebody. Yeah, there's a reworking of a contract here, so that it can like balance things out. I just feel like the level of discernment needed in July for you regarding a possible Aquarius, maybe an attorney, somebody in law, or just somebody like you trusted. My mind goes to like an agent, you know, and perhaps like, you know, them stating the terms of your contract in the beginning only to get the written word, and it's not like it's not clearly outlined in the contract, and you're like, okay, we need to revisit this. There's like a revisiting of something in July. So then what can Scorpio expect in August regarding this? What can Scorpio expect in August? It's regarding somebody from your past, this July energy. What can Scorpio expect in August regarding this? The World. Okay, now we finally close out the cycle. We come to an agreement. August, there's some level of an agreement. The World, this long chapter, this long held chapter is finally coming to a close. Yeah, so in May, it's like burdening you. And then you begin to sort of work through it. And then there's like a renegotiation come July to, make sure that there's equanimity here. And then in August, it's like, okay, you can finally, I feel like in August, you're going to have like a release. Like you're going to feel like those burdens have finally been put behind you. King of Coins. Closing something out with, can be a father figure. Somebody from your past. Business owner. Queen of Coins. Oh, it's your mom and dad. We have King of Coins, Queen of Coins. Or this could just be like you and your significant other if you like are married. But some sort of chapter is coming to a close come August regarding like your mom or dad can't even be your grandparents. Kind of getting the full scoop, like everything's coming full circle. And that's why the cycle is closing, is because like, okay, everything's been brought to light, everything's been balanced out. We can all move forward. Ooh, we love that energy in August. So then, please, dear God, for the love of Scorpio, can we get some like rest and rejuvenation here come September? Like, You got a lot going on. What's going on for Scorpio in September? I'm kind of re-looking at May now, and this is your, okay. I kind of feel like in May, are you divorcing somebody? And then you're working through the details of that divorce. June, July, only to come to a conclusion come August. Like a finality. Like the divorce decree is signed in August is what I get. Like you're trying to work through things come April, trying to work things out, trying to see from the other's perspective. That makes a lot more sense. All right, tell us what Scorpio can expect regarding the storyline come September. The Hermit. Feeling isolated again. Or just going within, kind of trying to, just chill out, kind of have a little bit of retrospect and like peace, internal peace. September for Scorpio. 7 of Coins. Again, long time coming. This can be shared finances for sure. The Hierophant. Alimony even? Or spousal support? No, this is like this is a harvesting for the Empress. We have an Emperor out here and then an Empress. So are you the Emperor? I believe so. And like you're kind of in September. Kind of get like a working together, a coming to terms, so we said settlement here, or at least closing of the cycle regarding a settlement, and then there's a level up. This harvest brings about a level up for this Empress. Can be like your significant other. Somebody who, this Empress is like really powerful though. Whomever she is, she not only like is protected on this journey, but her funds are protected and she's being guided along this path with you. Like you two are connected in some sort of way. So it would make sense to me that this is like a rebalancing of somebody in your world in regards to finances and like working with them. This can be work collaborations, but it can also be if you are working through like a divorce too. I see this as like a possible repayment in some sort of way. by way of a judgment to this Empress. What pursuits am I devoted to during this chapter of my life, and what pursuits could I see myself being devoted to later on once this chapter feels complete? Yeah, I kind of feel like this is what you will be contemplating on in September, is like the pursuit of possibly this Empress person. But either way, there's like, this has been like a long time coming. Years even in the making. And it is sort of like trial by fire. I don't know why I'm pulling this more, because I'm not going to clarify, but collective, just know that like things may feel very heavy right now, but as you progress through the spring and get into the summer, things will start to even out and lighten up for you. You're just going to have to sort of bear, like, don't be a martyr, don't bear the burdens of this, because if it is like collaborative and effort, then it's all not on you. Unless you are the primary caregiver of this woman and, you know, having to pay them back in some sort of way, you know, is bound to happen, then I can see that happening. But for the most part, like, it is weighing on you. There is judgment type energy here, and it is regarding like funds. And it's been a long time coming for this rebalancing and rebirth to happen. So things will even out. You will get the ability to sort of be devoted, or have the ability to think about what you want to be devoted to pursuit-wise in the future. And that's something to get excited about. And that this chapter will officially close in August is what I see. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. Definitely go and check out like your moon and rising sign if you're a Scorpio sun, because I think you might get some additional details regarding your storyline, just in terms of like the day to day, because this is very high level energy. It's a lot of major arcana. So like long-term overarching messages, like themes. That's what I was going for. God, it took me the entire freaking reading to figure out that a theme was what I was looking for word-wise. So I love you guys. Hope this was helpful, and join me at the next reading. Okay, I'll see y'all soon. Bye.